Hey, YouTube and Facebook friends. My name is Carlos Cabanas, and today I'm going to talk with you a little bit about prosperity and being prosperous. There are a bunch of different types of prosperity, and most people don't recognize that. For instance, when I was a child, my mother taught speed reading. I didn't think much of it, but she taught me how to speed read. And I prospered in several different ways from this. One was I went on a bunch of adventures as a child because I read almost every book in the house. And there were thousands of books in our house because she taught speed reading. So as a kid, I went on a lot of adventures, even through my teenage years as a young adult, from the books in that house. And I learned a lot. What ended up happening was my passion for reading developed. I wound up developing a 95% comprehension of stuff I read and a 90% recall of things that I read. And that made me a very smart person. I have a lot of knowledge stored away in my brain. And on top of that, I developed a really fabulous memory. My memory is incredible. I might forget people's faces or names, but I never forget a face. And I can talk about so many different subjects because I've read about so many different things. A lot of people call me a know-it-all, and I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. It's just that I prospered from reading a lot. That's a type of prosperity that people don't think about. One of the other ways that I prosper is I love nature. Nature is my spirituality. When I'm feeling depressed or when I'm having problems, I go out, I walk in nature, I breathe in some clean air, I surround myself with nature, and I appreciate the beauty in nature and of nature around me. And for me, spiritually, I prosper from that. It helps me relax, it helps me focus, it helps me feel better. I have friendships that stretch back 30 and 40 years, 50 years. I'm friends with people that I knew when I was a kid. I'm friends with people I knew in high school and junior high school. I prospered from these relationships because I'm a good person. And because I'm a good person and because I do things that are good for the community, I've developed a lot of relationships and I prosper from those relationships. I was in the Guardian Angels in the 1980s. I met Mr. Sean Kelly, who's my karate instructor. I wound up benefiting from that relationship. We're still friends to this very day. We're brothers, basically. But I made a lot of different friends through Mr. Kelly, and one of those friends is world champion kickboxer Bill Superfoot Wallace and his wife Jane. You know, when you are a good person and you're good to other people and you're good to people in your community, this comes back to you and that makes you prosperous. And a lot of people, they take a look at a fancy car, they take a look at a big, beautiful house, and they think that's prosperity. That's financial prosperity. But there's more to it than just being financially prosperous. There are other prosperities out there that you can experience every day. If you're grateful for everything that you have today, if you appreciate everything you have today, tomorrow you'll have more. It just comes to you naturally because you're grateful for what you have and you appreciate what you have, you'll get more. I've seen it happen. I invested in myself in coaching and mentoring for myself, and I've changed one of my paradigms. One of my paradigms, I go to the VA hospital and there would be some kind of change to the schedule, or a doctor would go on vacation without thinking when they made the appointment. I'd show up, the appointment would be canceled, and I've just wasted a trip. And that would make me upset because it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of my energy, and I would get really upset. I would blast people at the VA hospital, I would blast them on social media. Last week, I went to the VA hospital. I had an appointment July 1st. I asked someone at the desk, they said, "Oh, no, you don't have an appointment today." I was half an hour late. I did have an appointment. But the person behind the desk was being lazy. They didn't want to dig into things or tell me things. And when they pull up their computer screen, it'll show them that, hey, he had an appointment half an hour ago and the appointment was in the orthopedics office. But she didn't tell me that. She's like, well, no, you don't have an appointment today, but hey, the doctor put in an order for you to get an x-ray of your knee. So if you have a seat, we can do the x-ray of your knee. So I did that. I sat around for about half an hour. They took an x-ray of my knee. Bam. I got something done. It wasn't what I wanted and it wasn't what I was there for, but I didn't let the day go to waste. And I prospered from the change in my attitude. Before I left, I went into the Patriot store to get something to drink and a little snack. And I found this, a nice silk tie, $35 normally for $15. So I saved $20 buying a tie. So I had a couple of wins that day. And by changing my attitude and the way that I deal with things, I ended up benefiting, because I would have had to have wait for them to call me to set up an appointment to get my knee x-rayed. And the next appointment was in September. So I got it done in July. That's a big win. That made me prosperous. I got a nice new tie. I look sharp. This is prosperity right here. You look sharp. You feel good. This is being prosperous. We can be prosperous emotionally. We can be prosperous spiritually. We can be prosperous. We can exercise and get into really great shape and be in really good physical condition. It's being prosperous. That's taking care of your body is basically where you live. If you don't take care of that, what else are you not taking care of? Because that's where you live. At any rate, there are different kinds of prosperity. And what you have to do is look for the ability to be prosperous every day. Look to be prosperous spiritually every day. Look to be prosperous physically every day. Look to be prosperous emotionally every day. Look at the people in your life and think, how can we be prosperous together? What can we do together that would benefit everybody, not just me, not just my neighbor, but everybody in the community? Start thinking about things like that and grow your prosperity. It'll be one of the best things you ever do. Have a great day, everybody.